The MPP did not criminally, like he put it, manage the energy sector for us to come into this debt. As a matter of fact, if you are going to describe what has brought the energy debt as criminal, then you are the criminals. Because you and I know that three things make up our energy sector debt. The excess capacity, which is about $500 million thereabout every year, which you signed, and you heard him say that the NDPP, you signed 32 of it, 32. Something you signed 32 of it. That is fact. Now the fact is that you go and sign contracts with people and tell them to generate power. The country is going to be able to afford to, maybe it's going to be able to use 4,000 megawatts. You go and sign contract of 5,000. I'm making a point. So there's an excess of 1,000. That excess of 1,000, your agreement with them is that whether you use it or you don't use it, you will pay. Now, Council, Bensel, and myself, we only pay for power that we have used. That's 1,000 excess capacity that you took from them. It didn't come to us, so we don't pay for it. What it means is that every day, that excess capacity bill is on government.
We voted for you. You said you were going to change.
I agree.
For 8 years.
Hold on. No, I'm not. I haven't complained.
Okay.
I am only making a point that you have no business. It is a complete insult to the Ghanaian people for you to come and sit on TV and call the energy sector debt criminally managed when you signed the baby.
He gave over a dozen reasons.
Hold on, I'm coming to all of them. Number two, the second reason for our debt, and there is none more than these three. The second reason is the point that Council Bento made, and he himself made it. When ECG itself goes to lift the, let's say the 4,000, before the 4,000 gets to our homes, 500 is lost through technical losses because the cables are weak, this is not there, you understand? 500, the technical aspect, 500. So we don't even receive the entire 4,000 for us to use and even pay. Now, after we have also used the 3,500, ECG should come and collect the money from us. They are collecting 3,000. So that one to 500 is lost. These are the reasons why we have these challenges in the energy sector. Correct. That is fact.
Correct.
Nothing else. There is no other thing. Now look at each of these three things. Which of them makes MPP criminal and doesn't make you worse of a criminal?
When we had a handle or an avenue by which we were seeking to make up for this, you came in, you took it off. You said you don't pay anymore. Meanwhile, you were not paying.
Let me also deal with this matter. So you see, between 2013 and 2016, when the energy crisis peaked, the NDC decided to increase the generation capacity, which is one of the best things we've seen in recent years. But in doing that, they overdid it. And that brought us the first handle of the debt burden, the excess capacity. Then they introduced ESLA, which was going to be revenue source to deal with some of this debt. Now, some say, listen to this and listen to this carefully. ESLA is online. There is ESLA PLC with all the reports there. There is ESLA report on Ministry of Finance website. In fact, as recent as April 2025, the Finance Minister, Ato Forsen, Honorable, presented a report on ESLA. The MPP never did what it is that you are trying to impugn on us. When we took office, the energy crisis was so dire that in 2019, if you recall, the World Bank came to do an assessment and said that if we don't deal with the energy sector debt in a certain way, by 2025, our debt was going to grow to $12.5 billion. World Bank report is there. As part of that, the government had to put in place mechanisms to arrest some of the legacy debt. In fact, at that time, if we had not intervened, ESLA had just been introduced. It had not accumulated yet. And the IPPs were crying for their money. You are expecting ESLA to accumulate and you pay them. They cannot wait. So all government did was to float this ESLA, generate the money now, and pay the IPPs so we can have our power on. There is this thing that the BDOCs actually released along the line, and I'll read it to you. It's on your website. Government settles 1 billion legacy debt. The Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors says it has received from government 1 billion being full and final payment of legacy debt owed the bulk oil distributing companies from 2012 to 2020. This is ESLA money.
This was when?
This is ESLA money. This was ESLA money.
This was when?
Somewhere 2020 thereabout. Okay. This is ESLA money that was going into it. Now the ESLA report between 2017 and 2023 is online. This is what the ESLA report says. 70% of ESLA money was used to settle energy sector debts. 20% went into infrastructure, which includes transmission upgrades, distribution improvement and maintenance, and other infrastructure. So you see, let nobody, and these reports are public, we cannot read.
Okay.
Let nobody ever make that point that, you know, the government misused ESLA and all of that. In any case, the total amount of ESLA revenue raised between that period up to 2023 is about 35 billion cedis. How much is our debt? 35 billion cedis. How much is our debt? Now, the point I'm making is that we are complaining about the 4 cedi 50 pesos on a gallon because this government comes on air to create an impression as if they are introducing a levy to come and deal with the energy sector debt. But guess what? This is the point. And this is the point they make, but they make it quietly and subtly. This levy is not going to pay any of the energy sector debts. All it's going to do is to buy fuel now to power our generators.
That's what Jinapor says, but the president.
That's what the president also said.
President Mahama appears to correct that and says it will do both.
No, he didn't. He said that it will be buying fuel until a period where they are expecting a certain gas inflow. And that when that gas inflow comes in, then it will shift.
All right.
What if, hold on, that's conditional. What if it doesn't come in?
Okay.
But as I conclude, Samson, my point here is that you are government. You have been voted into office. You promised to reduce our burden. You said that you don't need to introduce excessive taxes to be able to do anything. You knew this issue. Your finance minister was ranking member on finance. He understands the issues. You introduced all this energy sector debt. You know the structure and everything. Deal with it. Your energy minister sat on TV and told the whole country that we should vote for the NDC and that in 100 days, he is going to plug and cut the losses of the ECG.
Thank you, Dennis.
And make sure that they become profitable.
Thank you.
Then you turn around and come and tell us that we should pay you 4 cedi 50 pesos for every gallon before you give us power.